When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunshine hurts my eyes, and strong one. It all fades into the glory of my never-ending story. Stronger than ever, no, never alone. Stronger than ever, look how I've grown. Lifted in every day.
much, Brian Harris and the New Thought Messengers. Hello. Hello. There's my people that I love so much. Hello, everyone here in our sanctuary, those of you joining us online. I am Shannon O'Hurley. I'm your community spiritual leader. What a blessing to be together this day that love has made. I am so grateful to be in spiritual community with all of you here, those of you around the world, wherever you are watching us or listening to us right now. If you are new or newish, I want to, on behalf of all of us, extend a very heartfelt welcome. Know that we have mindfully and thoughtfully created a place right here just for you, exactly as you are this day. We are an inclusive, progressive, compassionate community. We are dedicated to growing spiritually and then living that out into the world to help make this planet, this earth, a better place for all people everywhere. And all are embraced and welcomed and respected and honored here in this New Thought Center for Spiritual Living. Speaking of honoring, this is the time in our service where we honor that right here locally in Lake Oswego, we are on the land of the Kalapuya people, and we affirm indigenous history, experiences, and sovereignty. This is also the time in our service where we share with one voice our vision and our mission. It anchors our time together. So as you are comfortable, and those of you at home, I invite you to join us as well, to share with one voice our vision and our mission. Our vision, recognizing our oneness, we envision a world that works for everyone and all creation. And our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. So I would love it if you all here locally wouldn't mind just making sure your cell phones are silenced. It's not a problem when God calls, but we do like to silence our phones as we can. I am so delighted because this morning, our beloved practitioner and ministerial student, Shelly Walker, will be giving us our talk today, and I am just so delighted to get to go to church with y'all. That's fun. It's such a blessing. Speaking of blessings, let's take a moment and turn within a nice, deep, nourishing breath. Just allowing ourselves to be fully present right here in this room, right here, wherever you are online. Allowing yourselves to be present with the presence. This joyful, loving presence that is divinity itself, God, Spirit, Source, called by so many names. That presence, that compassion, that love, that grace, that divine intelligence that lives at the center of each one of us and is everywhere present in, through, and as all things. What a blessing to be here in this time, this glorious day, this place of growth and love and compassion and kindness and dedication to truth, to spiritual truth. And in this, I am so grateful for all the many hands that make this service possible. Our beloveds who take such good care of our little ones, our teenagers, all of those practitioners here that hold the space here and online. I'm so grateful to our beloved production team, everyone who makes this online experience possible. So grateful for our greeters, all of our beloveds who cook the yummy treats downstairs. I am so grateful for our music team, for everyone who makes this experience possible. Knowing we are all one in this, and in this, I am profoundly grateful. I'm so grateful for the message from our beloved Shelly Walker, knowing that it is Spirit through her that speaks this day. And so from this place of grace and gratitude and joy, I give thanks and I allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. And now, this is our time of spiritual practice. This is a very special time in our service where we recognize that often songs and music are prayer, simply prayer set to music. So I'm going to invite you to stand as you are able and allow this prayer set to music to wash over you. Feel free to move your body if that's what your body temple wants to do. However this works for you here and at home, I invite you to join in.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. Peace wash over us. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over. Let the joy wash over. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over. Let the love, we let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over. We let it be. And so it is.
And so it is.
Good morning. Today we have an excerpt of a poem from John Rodell on hope. I've been carrying hope in my pocket like it was a polished gemstone for years. Wherever I have trouble, I would squeeze hope lightly in my shaking hand. And I could feel it bump against my palm like a newborn heartbeat. That's how I knew I was safe. Recently, though, I somehow lost hope. I have no idea where I put it. It was somewhere, but it slipped out while I was fumbling with my keys. Without being able to hold onto hope, I soon became lost. And after a while of wandering and a while on my own, I bumped into Hope, who looked so different. Hope was no longer a little gemstone that I could fit in my pants pocket. Hope was now a wide stream cutting through the woods. I thought I lost you, I admonished. The river grabbed a couple of rainbow trout and used them to smile at me. Lost me, the water babbled. That's impossible. Well, one minute I was holding on to you and the next you were gone. I need to change forms, Hope said. Why, I asked. Because you've been carrying me for so long that I decided we should try something different. What's that? I thought I would take a turn to carry you for a bit. The river rose up around me and pulled me gently onto my back. I was floating. I didn't realize how exhausted I was until the river held me. And the river carried me. The river carried me. And hope carried me. And now whatever trouble comes, I just spread my mind, my open arms, and let hope wrap me up in her slow water. And so it is.
Thank you, Laura. Darcy, come sing us a song.
God of all things, God of small things, God of power and might, did you really make the world in 7 days and 7 nights? 'Cause I don't know if you exist or if I even care, but when I lay me down to sleep, I'd like somebody there. And it's hard to make sense of it all, and it gets harder with each passing day. But I believe in little things and things I cannot see, in science and the saints and all that stuff like gravity. Not that sentimental fairy tale to keep us in our place, 'cause I have seen you here when no one else was looking. A calm and silent bliss, a calm and silent bliss. What all you people do these days is argue, fuss, and fight. Then you fight some more and wipe the blood and say, at least we know we're right. How foolishly, all good things come undone. How silently, and now we all are done. And it's hard to make sense of it all, and it gets harder with each passing day. But I believe in little things and things I cannot see, in science and the saints and all that stuff like gravity. Not that sentimental fairy tale to keep us in our place, 'cause I have seen you here when no one else was watching. A strange and silent bliss, a strange and silent bliss. struggling and the people who can't cope? Do you keep your blessings for the rich, the pious and their guns? Or if you're half the God I know, you'll root for everyone. You'll root for everyone.
Darcy Bradley making me cry. It's not the first time and it won't be the last. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening if you're in Europe. It is such a joy to be in community this day, Earth Day. Yes, we're going to talk. I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit this week. Usually when I get to do this, which is the thing I love the most, and Reverend Shannon, thank you for the opportunity. I sit down on Monday morning and I think, okay, God, what are we going to talk about this time? And I kind of go through my notes from Reverend Shannon's talk the week before. I go through whatever is inspiring me at the time. I look at the calendar. I see what's coming up. So Monday morning, I sit down. Okay, we have Earth Day. Okay, important. We have Passover. Very important. We have a beautiful Passover dinner coming this week that you're going to hear more about. And I sat and I meditated and nothing. And I thought, that's okay, it's Monday. Sat down Tuesday morning, same process, same result. I thought, that's okay, it's only Tuesday. I'll put that away. I'll prep for a class that practitioner Terry and I are teaching. Let's just move on. It'll come in God's time. It didn't. I have nothing. I have nothing for you today. And finally, yesterday, I sat down with Spirit and I had a good heart-to-heart. And I said, look, this is not going to work for Reverend Shannon, and I'm not going to get to do this anymore. And I was inspired in that moment to go deeper and to ask myself, why? Why am I having a block around something that I love fiercely, which is Earth Day? When I was 16 years old, these many years ago, I started the first environmental club at my high school in Atlanta, Georgia. I care deeply about this. I have been a member of Greenpeace since I was 16 years old. This is something I care profoundly about, that I have lent my time and my resources to. And it comes back again, and I feel sad. I feel sad. I feel like it's not enough. I can't do enough. We can't do enough. Blech. Do you ever feel like that? I found myself, when I get to the bottom of something and I realize I'm having an experience like that, I like to kind of look back for patterns. When else have I felt about the state of the world? Oh, a lot. Like, it's been a lot, Reverend Shannon, since well before COVID. And we've been coping, and we've been growing, and we've been learning, and we've had lots to celebrate as well. But when you're 51 years old and you're watching the rights that you took for granted get stripped away, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And so I sat yesterday morning in my exhaustion and I sat and I invited Spirit in, because that's what I do. That's what we do. We partner with something greater than ourselves. And when I had that experience of inviting Spirit in, I got a nudge. Reverend Shannon has taught us about divine nudges. I got a nudge and a remembering that right about this time last year, I gave another talk about Earth Day. And I went back and I looked at that talk and I realized that I had read an article from the Greater Good Science out of UC Berkeley where they said the best thing that we can do to help the climate is to maintain hope. That hope is the most important thing to empower us to change. We have to have hope to change. And I thought, hot diggity, that's it. I've got it. This is what I need to talk about. So I went back and I revisited that article, and this really stood out to me. She said, if you lose hope, she quoted Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and she said this, if you lose hope, he said, somehow you lose the vitality that keeps moving. You lose that courage to be, that quality that helps you go on in spite of yourself. According to Martin Luther King in his Christmas message in 1967, hope gives us courage to move on. And of course, he was talking about the civil rights movement, which is also brings me despair. But his words apply to all of our social justice work, all of it. Hope is the most important thing to bring courage to our action. So, instead of writing a talk today, I'm bringing you 4 things that came to me this week that brought me hope. And I'm going to gift them to you to do with as you will. Before I do that, I just want to say that despair isn't just about our social justice work. You know, despair is such a beautifully human place to be. And if you find yourself in despair about anything, about a relationship, about a situation in your finances, about the way we keep treating our beautiful Mother Earth as if she doesn't exist. If you're in despair about anything in your life, I think it's important to recognize that despair is it comes from, I love this, it comes from the Latin de, which is from, and spes or sperare, which is hope. So despair is the absence of hope. Yeah. There was a Roman goddess of hope. I didn't know this. Her name was Spes, the Roman goddess of hope. I looked up hope on Wikipedia, and it turns out that hope is one of the 3 theological virtues of the Christian tradition. And it's said in Wikipedia, while faith is a function of the intellect, hope is an act of will. Hope is an act of will. Hope is something that takes our brain and our heart and makes them work together. But it takes a spark, I have found for myself. Hope takes a spark. So here's some sparks. Here's some things that brought me hope this week. The first one came actually from Reverend Shannon's mom. Hi, Peg. When you posted this letter from E.B. White this week, I thought, that's inspiring and it brings me hope. So I'm going to share this with you. In 1973, the year I was born, E.B. White wrote the following reply to a Mr. Nadeau who, quote, sought White's opinion on what he saw as a bleak future for the human race. And he wanted to know what E.B. White, of course, E.B. White is the beloved American author of Charlotte's Web and Stuart Little, something else I can't think of right now. So E.B. White said, "Dear Mr. NATO, as long as there is one upright man, as long as there is one compassionate woman, the contagion may spread and the scene is not desolate. Hope is the thing that is left to us in a bad time. I shall get up Sunday morning and wind the clock as a contribution to order and steadfastness." Sailors have an expression about the weather. They say the weather is a great bluffer. I guess the same is true of our human society. Things can look dark, then a break shows in the clouds and all is changed, sometimes rather suddenly. It is quite obvious that the human race has made a queer mess of life on this planet. Isn't it though? Isn't it though? But as a people, we probably harbor seeds of goodness that have lain for a long time, waiting to sprout when the conditions are right. Humans' curiosity, relentlessness, inventiveness, and ingenuity have led them into deep trouble. We can only hope that these same traits will enable them to claw their way out. He said, "Hang on to your hat, hang on to your hope, and wind the clock, for tomorrow is another day." Hang on to your hat, hang on to your hope, and wind the clock. Last week, Reverend Shannon was teaching us about leaps of faith and how some of them are these big leaps of faith and some of them are small acts of courage. Sometimes just winding the clock is what we can do. But that act of winding the clock says there will be a tomorrow. And I'm bringing order to my life in this moment. So if all you can do is that one small act, do it. Do it. Because when we all do the one small act, well, 7 billion small acts add up really fast. They really do. So take the leap of faith. That was the first thing, the letter from E.B. White. Thank you, Peg, for that gift today. The second thing, this came across my desk this morning. And a fellow minister in our movement found this and posted it this morning in honor of Earth Day. Listen to this story. According to an old Native American legend, one day there was a big fire in the forest. All the animals fled in terror in all directions because it was a very violent fire. Suddenly, the jaguar saw a hummingbird pass over his head, but in the opposite direction. The hummingbird was flying towards the fire. Whatever happened, he wouldn't stop. But moments later, the jaguar, going this direction, saw him pass again, this time in the same direction as the jaguar was walking. So the jaguar observed this coming and going until he decided to ask the bird about it because it seemed like very bizarre behavior. "What are you doing, hummingbird?" he said. "I am going to the lake," she answered. "I drink water with my beak and I throw it on the fire to extinguish it." The jaguar laughed. "Are you crazy? Do you really think that you can put out that big fire on your own?" "No," said the hummingbird. "I know I can't. But the forest is my home. It feeds me. It shelters me and my family. I am very grateful for that. And I help the forest by pollinating its flowers. I am part of her, and she is part of me. I know I can't put out the fire, but I must do my part." At that moment, the forest spirits who listened to the hummingbird were moved by the bird and its devotion to the forest. Miraculously, they sent a torrential downpour, which put an end to the great fire. It's said the Native American grandmothers would occasionally tell this story to their grandchildren and then conclude with this: do you want to attract miracles in your life? Do your part. You have no responsibility to save the world or find the solutions to all problems, but your responsibility is to attend to your particular personal corner of the universe. As each person does that, the world saves itself. Our job is to attend to our particular corner. One person can't do it all, but one person can do all that they can do. And this certainly applies to climate justice. This certainly applies to social justice. This also applies to our family dynamics, parents, grandparents, children of aging parents. We're never going to be able to fix it all because we're not here to fix it. We're here to love it, and we're here to do what is clearly ours to do. And sometimes that's easier than others. But what I loved about this story, the thing that brought me hope, was this line when it said, I know I can't put out the fire, but I must do my part. Could you see that little green hummingbird flitting back and forth, doing its little part? From now on, I'm going to see myself as a little hummingbird. I'm just going to do my part. And I'm going to trust that there is an energy and a love and a spirit that is greater than me, that is going to send the torrential downpours to do its work, right? Sometimes we mix up what is our work and what is God's work. It's important that we feed hope so that we have the courage to carry the water. The third thing that came to me to inspire me this week, and this is a quote I have seen many times before, but I adore this woman. I just want to read you a quote from Wangari Maathai, who was the Greenbelt Movement founder and the first African woman Nobel Peace Prize winner. If you don't know who she is, come to know her work. It's beautiful, beautiful work. And she said this: in the course of history, there comes a time when humanity is called to shift to a new level of consciousness, to reach a higher moral ground. A time when we have to shed our fear and give hope to each other, and that time is now. That time is now. Isn't she beautiful? First African woman to win the Nobel Prize. And she says it's time now for us to feed these seeds of hope to each other. So I'm wondering, what can we do as a spiritual community? What can we do as individuals to feed the hope, to feed the good? One thing that we've talked about before is looking for the good in the world and magnifying that, right? It's so important that we do that. Because if we don't, we end up doing what we call praying the problem. And we can sometimes focus on the problem so much that we forget to find a solution. But in my studies this week, I had lots of time to study since I wasn't writing a talk. So I want to share with you something I learned about Passover this week. For those who might be new to this concept, I'm going to give you the Shelly Walker 2-minute version of Passover, and we will have no theological police coming to get me because it is way too big for me to really wrap it in a pretty bow for you this week. So I'm going to give you my New Thought version of Passover. I want you to know that later this week you can have a much more authentic Passover experience, Jewish Passover experience with our beloved Joan. But I want to tell you something that I learned that really inspired me. Passover, it comes from when Moses, no, of course it wasn't Moses. You remember Pharaoh and the plagues? Do you remember the frogs and the locusts and the bleeding and the blood and the sick people? And this was another effort of the Jewish people to be free of enslavement. There are so many stories in the Old Testament, and the entire New Testament is about a search for freedom and redemption. So in an effort to free the Israelites, God said, free them or there's going to be trouble, and they didn't free them, so there was trouble. The last of the plagues, this is the one I want to talk about. The last of the plagues said, so we're just going to take all the firstborn children. And if we'll know that you're righteous and holy if you sacrifice a lamb and put the blood on the door. And that's how we'll know not to take your child. And the angel of death came and went door to door and took all the children. So let me tell you, 6-year-old Shelly sitting in Southern Baptist Church was terrified by this story. I want you to know. And it's interesting to look back and to see not only how it was taught to me, but how I understood it in my own immaturity, right? Because when you actually look at it from a consciousness teaching, it looks like this. If we don't die to our old way of being by choice, we're going to do it not by choice. The reason that Passover is about putting the blood on the door is because it's our duty to show our true selves, blood, to the world. And when we show our true selves, when we can show our inner nature to the world and live that and be that, we die to an old way of being. Now, what does that have to do with hope, you might be asking? Shelly doesn't usually get gruesome on Sunday mornings, in case you're wondering. Here's the thing. Part of why I find myself in despair sometimes is because what we're doing isn't working. And we can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. And I find the spinning of the wheels to be exhausting. It's tiring. But this idea that when I can show my true nature, I can be saved, but not in a rescue-y way, in a healthy, whole, loving way. It's inspiring to me because it's time for us to lay down the things that no longer work. It's time for us to lay down the armor. It's time for us to lay down the masks that we wear to get along. They serve no one. Now, some of us learned how to put on this armor and to don these masks because we needed that to be safe in the world. If you still need that to be safe in the world, God bless you. Do what you need to do to really be safe. But it's important that we ask ourselves, is it serving me? Is it still serving me? Or is it time to put away the childish understandings and the old ways of being so that we can be our true selves, so that we can do new and different things? It's time. It is time. So the invitation becomes to ask yourself, what can I do to be a hope bringer? To find that authentic hope, to find that authentic love in myself, and to turn it inside out and to show it to the world. What can I do to be a hope bringer? The fourth thing and final thing I found to share with you that brought me hope this week. According to an article from Harvard Health, I read this: hope is an essential component of our well-being. Hope is important for our physical health. What can we do when it seems to be in short supply? First, we can start by practicing gratitude, spending a few minutes each day recounting the positives in one's life, even the small ones, like noticing a moment of serenity in the sunshine, or the endorphins of a brisk walk around your neighborhood. These things can have an enormous impact. So number one is gratitude. Next, we can begin to actively envision realistic ways that our circumstances can improve. Pain and discomfort often subside. Even deep sorrows can pass with time. In all these cases, the action to embrace is to choose to be mindful and deliberate about fostering positivity, even in the face of its absence. That's from Harvard Health. Hope is important mentally. Hope is important spiritually. Hope is important physically. So according to Harvard, the ways that we foster health are: number one, hope, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Number two, envision realistic ways our situation can improve. There's a difference between magical thinking and realistic envisioning, and it is important to understand that difference. Magical thinking says, I can continue to do the same things and somebody will make it better. That's magical thinking. Realistic envisioning says, I can deepen my commitment to using my voice for change in the world. I can commit to writing or calling my senator once a month. That's a realistic change that I can envision having an impact on the world. But that's not just true of climate change. That's true of everything in our lives. It's time to put away magical thinking, and from the power and the love and the God within you, envision something greater and know that it too can be real when we put our feet to it, when we take the action. So number one, gratitude. Number two, envisioning realistic ways that our circumstances can improve. And I'm just going to add a third, just to circle back to the beginning, and that is to lean into faith. To lean into faith. Understanding that a God of love is with us and for us, and that, as Butterworth said, you are God's living enterprise and God cannot fail. Right? We lean into that, and in that hope, something begins to open in our minds and in our hearts and in our lives. And the tiniest leap of faith, the tiniest act of courage, and we step through into a new way of being, a new way of loving. I love that John Rodell poem that practitioner Laura read to us. And that was an excerpt of the poem. And I think for our closing prayer today, Brian, will you join me? I think for our closing prayer today, I'd like to revisit that poem a little bit. This idea of hope, that we carry hope, but hope also carries us. I'd like to invite the practitioners to come forward, to hold space. you might want to close your eyes. You might want to cast them down. You might want to find a beautiful flower or a statue or a candle to gaze at. The invitation today is to allow hope to find you. And if you already have it, to greet it and to let it carry you. I've been carrying hope in my pocket like it was a polished gemstone for years. Whenever trouble came, I'd squeeze hope tightly in my shaking hand, and I could feel it bump against my palm like a newborn heartbeat. That's how I knew that I was safe. Recently, though, I somehow lost my hope. I have no idea if I put it down somewhere or if it slipped out while I was fumbling for my keys. But without being able to hold on to hope, I soon lost myself. After a while of wandering in the wild on my own, I bumped into Hope, who looked so different. Hope was no longer a little gemstone that could fit in my pants pocket. Hope was now a wide stream cutting through the woods. I thought I'd lost you, I admonished. The river grabbed a couple of rainbow trout and used them to smile at me. Lost me, the water babbled. That's impossible. Well, one minute I was holding on to you and the next you were gone. I needed to change forms, Hope replied. Why? I asked. Because you've been carrying me for so long that I decided we should try something different. What's that? I thought I would take a turn to carry you for a bit. The river rose up around me and pulled me gently onto my back. I was floating. I didn't realize how exhausted I was until the river held me, and hope carried me. And hope carried me. And hope carried me. And now, whenever trouble comes, I just spread my arms open and let hope wrap me up in her slow water. And I can still feel it pulse against me like a newborn heartbeat. That's how I know I'm safe. I don't know where we are going, Hope, and I still appear to be lost. But at least we are together. Maybe we will stay lost out here for a while longer. Funny enough, I'm in no rush to get to our destination because it has been so long since I have felt held by anything. And I think I could really get used to it. And so what I know is that this hope that carries, this love that carries is everywhere present. It resides in us. It breathes us. It lives us. It is life itself, and it is everywhere present. And it is so good to know that it's right here, right where we are. It is so good to know that there is a hope that is in us, that is outside of us. To know that a love that passes all understanding has got this. Love has got this, and hope carries this. And so I celebrate hope wherever we find it, in story, in song, in the light of a child's eyes. I celebrate the hope that resides within. And in this moment, I invite it to come forward in our bodies, to come forward in our lives, to allow hope itself to guide the way to a better today and a greater tomorrow for ourselves, for each other, for our planet, for love will have the final word. I'm grateful for all the places on the world that celebrate this love, this hope. I bless them all. I bless and I bless and I bless. And with a heart full of hope and gratitude, we simply let it be. Blessed, blessed be. And so it is. And so it is. Let's go be a hope bringer this week, y'all.
Shelly Walker, thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful message. So this is the time in our service where we have an opportunity to be hope bringers in action, to pay it forward. I want to say a personal thank you to all the gifts that you give us. It allows us to be in existence. It allows us to continue bringing our hope and living this out into the world. This card represents those here who are monthly pledgers. I am a monthly pledger. If you are not yet, I invite you to go on our website if that calls to you. It's so easy because it comes out every month or week or however you want to do it. We also have opportunities. Text to give, 503-966-3236. We're also passing the basket here in the sanctuary. Thank you to those of you online who are pledgers and who are texting to give. So with that, I want to share our blessing of our gifts. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to us multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you.
Life don't let up for us. All they talk about is what is going down, what's been messed up for us. When I look around, well, I see blue skies, I see butterflies for us. Listen to the sound and lose it. It's sweet music. In the world, so much beauty in the world, always beauty in the world, so much beauty in the world. So shake your booty, boys and girls, for the beauty in the world. Pick your diamond, pick your pearl. There is beauty in the world. All together now. More money, they say change is gonna come like a weather, they say forever, they say, so maybe in between, notice the blue skies, notice the butterflies, notice me, stop and smell the flowers and lose it, it's sweet music. With me, there is beauty in the world, so much beauty in the world, always beauty in the world, so much much beauty in the world. So shake your booty, boys and girls, for the beauty in the world. Pick your diamond, pick your pearl. There is beauty in the world. All together now. And hey, yeah, throw your hands up and holler. Hey now, throw your hands up and holler when you don't know what to do, don't know if you'll make it through. Remember, God is giving you beauty in the world. So long, so long. There is beauty in the world, so much beauty in the world. So shake your booty, boys and girls, for the beauty in the world. Pick your diamond, pick your pearl. There is beauty in the world, 'cause there is beauty in the world, so much beauty in the world. There is beauty in the world, so much beauty in the world. Shake your booty, boys and girls, for the beauty in the world. Pick your diamond, pick your pearl. There is beauty in the world. Woo! Give it up for our guest drummer, Brian Harris.
Booty, boys and girls, so much beauty. Did you all see Brian Harris playing drums? How long have I been in this community? Since 2008, and I did not know you played drums until this moment.
Might be the
You learn something new every
maybe
day.
like the fourth time ever, something like that.
That's amazing. Thank you. And thank you, Darcy, and thank you, Kate, and thank you, New Thought Messengers. What an absolute blessing. Yeah. There is so much beauty right here. I am holding our spiritual questions box. And the reason I am holding this is because 2 Sundays from now, we only do this like twice a year, maybe. And it is Out of the Box Sunday, where you put your questions in here, and Shelly Walker and I sit up here, and she pulls them out of the box, and I answer them. And it's a very special Sunday, but I need your questions. So can I hand this to you, my love? Thank you. And Mary is going to, or Carolyn is going to put that, with the cards are right here, sweetheart, on the table for the local folks on your way out. And for those of you online, please put your question in the chat box, and we will go back. Some lovely soul will go back and pull those and put them in the question box for you. So that's exciting, and I hope that you participate in that, because there's a lot of joy when we get to do that. This next announcement is for the local folks. This Friday night is our Seder dinner. This is so exciting. Please RSVP this coming Wednesday, the 24th. And it's a potluck, so you can sign up. And Joan Lubar is hosting it. Where are you, Joan? There you are, dear heart. And she is going to lead us in the beautiful ritual, the meaningful ritual of the Seder, and it is for all of us. I can't wait. I am so excited to be there. I look forward to seeing all of you there this coming Friday night. Speaking of everyone, I want to thank all of you here who joined us this day, all of you online joining us from Colorado, California, Florida, Mexico, Arizona, Washington, Oregon, and Germany. We love you. Thank you so much for being with us. I also want to thank our online practitioner hosts, our moderators, practitioners Annette Nelson and Beth Doyle. Thank you so much for holding space online for our community there. I'd like to invite the practitioners down front, if you would, for prayer. And also know online that our practitioners online are also going to be available for prayer after service. With you in a private room. And here, anyone here, just if you haven't yet given yourself the gift of prayer, all you have to do is go up to one of these beloveds and just simply let them know what's on your heart, and they will pray for you and send you out into your day and your week filled with hope, filled with hope. Also, just know if you here in the room right after our final song, this turns into a sanctuary of meditation and quiet prayer. Feel free to stay if you want to journal, meditate, or pray. And also, those of you here in person, I invite you to go downstairs and enjoy the yummy nosh and coffee. Shelly, would you join me? And would you please here stand as you are able for our final blessing? Would you do the honors, my love?
May you go in the light as the light and with the light until we meet again. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are so loved, so loved.
I release and I let go.